Thank you for those lovely tunes. I'd like to call up one of the finest police departments in the state of New Jersey, the Ocean Township Police Department, along with our Boy Scouts to post our colors. I'd like to call up Robert O'Gorman from Boy Scout Troop 71, and he will perform our Pledge of Allegiance. To now call up our very own Elizabeth Russamano, who will sing our national anthem. Come on.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Elizabeth. You may be seated. I'd like to introduce our members of council. We have Deputy Mayor David Fisher, Councilman Rob Achera, Councilwoman Geeta Kaplan, and Councilwoman Kelly Terry. I want to thank former Deputy Mayor Rich Long for attending today. He was a little early before, but he's made it back out. Thank you. We have our Police Chief, Michael Sorrentino. We have Steve Higgins, our Director of Public Works. Mike Patrico, our Director of Recreation. And of course, Jen Nordstrom, who puts the events together with Mike. Cannot thank you enough. We have Michael Palutis, former Board of Education member. And a person that I really have a lot of respect for, who's done an incredible amount to preserve the history of this great municipality. That's Paul Edelson, head of our Historical Society. I want to thank the John Luckenbill Band for playing those tunes earlier for us. Thank you. Now to get started, we're going to call up Post give an apology to Jim Mack, as we had a deal, and apparently I must have reneged on the deal because I told him I wouldn't do a tie, but I didn't realize it was Memorial Day that I wasn't going to wear the tie. I thought I had to this morning. But Jim, I'm going to tell you right now, whatever deal we have moving forward, please tell Jen so she can remind me, because I completely forgot. But thank you, Jim, and I'll tell you what, the one thing I want to say before we do this prayer, it was Jim's dedication to our township to put this memorial together, and everything has come together beautifully, Jim. I mean, the plants have grown, the trees are getting bigger, and it's absolutely magnificent what he did to put this together, along with all of the tremendous help that we had to get it there. So, Jim, thank you. And we have his lovely wife here to do our prayer. The better half, Jim.
You don't have a bio.
Good morning, everyone. They fought and died so that we might be safe and free. Grant them, O Lord, eternal peace, and give them the victory. And in these days of unrest, filled with grave uncertainties, let's not forget the price they paid to keep our country free. Amen.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from the commander of each visiting post. We're going to start off with Mark Rubenstein from the Jewish War Veteran Commander, Post 125, where he'll place a wreath for each of his deceased members.
Thank you, Mayor. A good idea if I took my little talk out because I haven't memorized it. Just a little history first. In May 1868, an order issued by General John Logan established May 30, 1868, a day of remembrance for those soldiers who died during the Civil War. Flowers were placed on the graves of the fallen soldiers of both the Union and Confederate armies. This continued every May 30 until 1971, when the National Holiday Act designated Memorial Day a national holiday to be held on the last Monday of May, and that's why we're all here today. For many, though, it is a 3-day weekend filled with barbecues, picnics, opening pools, and trying out the beach for the first time this season. A time to get away from the normal workings of the week. For others, it's the beginning of summer, a time to look forward to the long days of summer, and time to plan summer getaways. Unfortunately, many Americans have forgotten the significance of Memorial Day, but not veterans, not armed forces personnel, not Boy or Girl Scouts around the country, all of whom plant thousands, I mean thousands, of U.S. flags in cemeteries where veterans are buried. These flags are placed on veterans' graves and prayers recited. Americans here today, veterans and non-vets, come to Memorial Day services to honor those who so bravely served and gave their lives to the ideals of the United States. This Memorial Day is in the past. We remember all who died in uniform and conflict and those who survived and have since passed. Recent conflicts have placed U.S. forces in harm's way in places all over the world. The cost of independence remains high, and the American people are willing to pay. But we don't pay gladly, but with a heavy heart, and thanks to those who have sacrificed their lives for America. We know that in years to come, more of our sons and daughters, unfortunately, will have to sacrifice their lives for America. We include them in our thoughts and prayers today. It is fitting on Memorial Day that we fly the American flag to show that we honor and remember all who served. The National Moment of Remembrance Resolution, passed in December 2000, asks that at 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day, all Americans observe in their own way a moment of remembrance and respect, and pause from whatever they are doing for a moment of silence. I personally play taps and salute my flag. I am proud to be an American and a veteran. Thank you all for being here, and God bless the United States of America. here. Please come forward. And on your way. Oh, here it is. What about the wreath? Here, Norman. Come and get your flags. And plant them over there. You can do all four. Jen will show you. Post 125 lost 4 members last year. Dr. Gerald Rosenfeld, Sanford Weiner, Kalman Liebeskind, and Jerome Kessel. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mark. It's always a pleasure when you're out here. I want to also thank Mark Rubenstein for being out here. He's our coordinator of senior programs. That's your new title. We have our township engineer, Greg Blash, out here. And we also have Wanamassett Fire Company. Thank you for being out here as well. I want to next call up Jim Mack, who is the VFW commander from post 2226, who will also come up and place flags up for his members as well as a wreath.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be here for the 2nd annual Memorial Day at this beautiful location. To remind of all the men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. It's about honoring the military personnel who died while serving in the armed forces. That's a pretty heavy reality. It is the ultimate price to pay for patriotism and the love of your country. The grief and the sense of loss, the cold star families of those who have died in all our wars. The service members who we honor today come from all walks of life, but they share several fundamental qualities that they possess: courage, determination, selfishness, and dedication to duty, integrity, and to God and country. On this Memorial Day, our hearts as well with thankfulness and pride in reflecting of continued expansion of what our dramatic ideas, democratic ideas, I apologize. The mayor's ties upset me. As I tell you every year, enjoy your day, but take a break from all the fun and think about the fall. Before I close, I'd like to mention the policemen, the firemen, and the EMTs. They sacrifice every day. And more so lately. I don't know if you read the newspapers or look around you. It's not easy for these guys to be out there right now. And they deserve the respect that we get. should be passed on to them as well. So please, just take care of them. Now, before I leave, I'm going to make everybody a little mad, but I seen this on Facebook or somewhere. I read it, but I thought it was very appropriate for today. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read it. If you do mind, I'll tell him. Monday will be the most expensive day on the calendar. Every hot dog, every burger, every spin around the lake, or drink from friends and family is a debt purchased by others. This is not about all who serve. That day comes in the fall. This one is the honor of those who paid the life and blood, whose moms never saw them again, whose dads wept in private, whose wives raised kids alone, whose kids only remember their fathers from pictures. This is a day to remember. The others paid for every free breath and every take to take freedom. Thank you. Are you guys ready? George, bring the wreath, please. This is George Kiss from VFW 2226. David Alfrey. Steve. Louis Gimbel. Stratus Nicholas. Gene Baraka. Floyd Pierce. Charles Regilio. Xavier Stefano. Danny. Norman Severi. And Alfred Thorne. thank the mayor and the council and everybody who showed up here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Next up, I'd like to call Robert McKnight from the Catholic War Vet. He's the commander of post, not 220, 714, right?
Good morning. I don't know about the weather, so good thing I only make short speeches. First off, I just want to say thank you to the mayor, council, Jen, any distinguished guests here, and everyone who year after year put this ceremony together. It's always a beautiful ceremony. I thank you so much for all the hard work you do. And also, thank you once again to Jim Mack and the VFW and everybody who was instrumental in establishing this wonderful Veterans Memorial here. We're able to have this ceremony. So with that said, one thing I just want to say here is on this day, which we honor all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, may those sacrifices be for each of us a constant reminder of the cost of liberty and the cost of the freedoms which we enjoy. May the courage and sacrifice by those who gave up everything so that our nation could endure inspire each of us to live our lives with purpose and meaning. Never take for granted or squander what we have been given. Everything we have has come at a cost. From the founding of our nation till the present day, that cost was paid for in human lives. Let us never forget that. Catholic War Veterans, this year, fortunately, we've only lost one member, Remo Strada. Gary, if you could bring up the wreath, and Felix, we'll have you plant the flag.
Thank you, Robert. Next up, I'd like to call Don Brockle and Troop 71 to place their wreath.
Thanks, Mayor, Council, and guys, you can just come over here. Logan's going to give you those instructions, okay? So I just want to thank the veterans. You don't know how much it means to the kids here. And this site is very special because now we can hear things that are spoken. It was very difficult in town hall. And the kids hearing the stories, seeing your faces, seeing your actions means a lot. We don't take it for granted. We take the kids on trips. We take them to battlefields, Gettysburg, Valley Forge, Jockey Hollow, and we actually take them to West Point once in a while. We take them down to Annapolis. And with that, we have two West Point, one grad that's serving in Sean Holman. He's serving out in St. Louis, or Fort Lewis, and that's from 25th ID, second lieutenant, and he's doing great out there. We have another one in West Point, which is Andrew Brennan, Patrick Brennan, who's Andrew's past town supervisor, manager. His son's there. His last senior year is coming up. And then we have with Josh Patterson, who's in the Marine Corps, serving somewhere in the Pacific on a boat right now. And we have his brothers serving as the reserves. And we have Tommy Lavin now somewhere near Poland, which I can't tell you where, I'll just have to get shot, but somewhere near Poland with an artillery unit. And we have Andrew Ayers, who's serving the Navy, and he's with the CBs out in San Diego, and I actually saw him the other day. He looks great. He's got a family, he's been 16 years, he's going to serve out his career and retire in the Navy. So, veterans in our troop, and these kids hopefully will be veterans again. Some will be going to service, some will be going to college. They're all 19 of them are going to summer camp this year, so we try hard to instill patriotism and leadership in these young men. So, and also women, and not our troop per se, but there's troops in the council that have girls now, and it's quite nice. So, but everything's going in the right direction for scouting. And I just want to again thank the veterans for all you do and for all you stand for. And now I'm going to introduce Logan Kaplan, who's an Eagle Scout from Troop 71, to follow on.
Thank you. All right, I'll try to make this brief. One of the biggest questions posed by man is, what is the meaning of life? There are lots of varying answers, and everyone has their own opinion, but this is mine. My answer to someone wanting to know the meaning of life is to visit a cemetery, which might seem a little odd, but it really comes down to it. The purpose of life, let me restart that. Which might seem a little odd, but what it really comes down to is a usual. Visiting the grave of someone who has passed away will almost always tell you the priorities and the purpose of the life that person has lived. There will usually be a little marker denoting their faith to God, and often the words husband, father, grandfather, wife, mother, grandmother. These are the roles which gave their life so much meaning. I've been blessed with the privilege to plant American flags at gravestones of our United States service members for many years now, and it has always been a duty I have taken very seriously. When we as Scouts go to each cemetery to plant these flags, we see those words that describe the roles of the lives that people have lived. But very often, there was another role right under these big roles. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Marines, U.S. Air Force, and many more. Along with details from different branches and different ranks, each individual has served. These fallen men and women felt these roles, this role, was one that should be denoted above many of the others, above all others. They could have put their careers, their favorite teams, a special phrase, but no, they thought it most important to denote in their lives that they served in the protection of the United States of America. I feel it goes without saying that without the sacrifices these brave men and women have made, America would not exist, and the world would be a far worse place because of it. And if you want to look for any further proof, look at those who hate us. I'm hopeful because every day I see young people of my generation standing up to the loud, obnoxious, and ungrateful section that often is given outsized attention. Last year, I helped my fellow Scouts. With the help of my fellow Scouts, I was able to complete my Eagle Scout project, being an outdoor prayer area dedicated to the Jewish veterans of foreign wars. I was also able to collaborate with the World War II Veteran History Project, a group dedicated to documenting and sharing the stories of those of the greatest generation, including a Captain John Ron, who is currently the last surviving captain from the first wave at D-Day. Through this, we were able to retell their story using Lego, and it has now been watched by over 600,000 people. I am grateful for the opportunity to speak to you all today, and for the many service members in the audience. Thank you. The Scouts and leaders of Troop 71 of Oakhurst honor the men and women who have fallen in the defense of our great nation. Matthew McCann and Ada Madigan, please place the wreath. Thank you.
War rifle salute from our Ocean Township Police Department. like to call up Art Healy, who will perform taps. I want to thank everyone for coming out today. This day isn't about the elected officials, it's about the fallen men and women over the years. I want to also thank all of our commander posts that have come out here. Only thing I can say is to these young kids that are out here, they preserve the history of the fallen men and women. Jim, I hate to say it, you guys are getting a lot older and you need somebody to come up and do what you guys did to make these memorials, to make these monuments, to keep their memories alive, that they did the ultimate sacrifice for the greatest country on earth. And I cannot thank them enough, and you guys back here carry on that legacy. Thank you again, have a great day, and salute a fallen soldier today. Thank you.
Thank you.